The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Welcome to Success Secrets Exposed with Sally A. Curtis, where we share stories of challenge, success, and inspiration along with practical tips and strategies to move you forward to your success. And now, here's your host, Sally A. Curtis.
Good evening, good morning, and good day to you all. Welcome to another episode, one that is going to be very inspiring and full of dreams and inspiration. So let's jump into what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about following your heart and following your dreams. And I've got a very exciting guest that I will be sharing with you shortly, Linda. So for those that are new to the show and haven't had the opportunity to speak with me yet, and I haven't had the opportunity to connect with you, my name is Sally A. Curtis. I'm a content repurposing specialist, and I work exclusively with speakers, consultants, and coaches to help them amplify their voice, their message, and their impact. And we do that, as I said, through content repurposing and helping to create connection and conversations on LinkedIn. And as usual, I met Linda through LinkedIn, and we had an amazing conversation, lots of laughs, lots of high energy, and lots of great topics and discussions, hence why I've now got her on the show to be sharing with you as well. So today we're going to be talking about the 5 foundations to live and achieve all of your dreams. Now, Linda is actually the international best-selling author of a #1 best-selling book called Connection, The Currency to Happiness. And as you'll experience in a minute, she's full of energy and very, very inspiring. Her mission is actually to be known as somebody who is inspiring to others, to help them become more than they thought ever possible for themselves, and to help them truly attain happiness. And in her words, happiness is another form of wealth. Or is it in actual fact the form of wealth? We'll let you discover that shortly. She's the founder of Three Hearts Connection. She's also an award-winning artist, author, speaker, and life coach. And she sings a similar tune to me about self-leadership. So she's actually a self-leadership coach, and I often talk with clients about self-responsibility. So please help me welcome Linda to the show.
Hi everyone. Hi Sally. How are you?
Good, thank you. So excited to be sharing with you and all of your words of wisdom with our audiences today. So thank you very, very much.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on.
You're welcome. I'd love it if you could start with a little bit of your backstory. So I know when we spoke, you told me quite a lot about your backstory of coming to Australia, and then obviously your sister's scenario as well. So can you tantalise the audience with a little bit of that backstory, please?
Sure. So I'm going to take everybody back in time. So if you just close your eyes and imagine a world of black and white. So in our world now, it's all colorful, with everything. I was actually born at the end of the Vietnam War. So it was minimal resources, minimal of everything. All I've seen was black and white TV, black and white photo. That's how ancient I am. My kids said, "Mom, you sound like you're from the dinosaur age." So black and white TV, black and white photos, never even have color pencils. I never seen what a computer looked like. So that's how basic my world was. And then suddenly at the age of 15, I was kind of like so-called teleported to Sydney, Australia, without a word of English. So there you go. So I was suddenly in a whole new world, completely different, I've never been in a car. I couldn't even been on a bus because I had extreme motion sickness. So I was literally in a little corner in my room, so-called, in my little home and street, little home street. So very basic, didn't see anything. Whereas kids these days, they have the world information in the fingertips. If they want to see what Mongolia looks like, they just get on YouTube. If they want to know, the language or see the food, there's like everything is in your fingertips. So as for me, it was a blank world, like in my mind. So I didn't have any knowledge whatsoever. So that's my background.
Your journey, because when we spoke, you was talking about how you just had no concept of anything other than the world that you had, which is, we talked very much about you get stuck in your own bubble, and we were talking about how you don't realize what other people's experiences or examples are. So being in that bubble of, as you said, the black and white versus, seeing the color and the opportunity that was there. So you've obviously had a very, very strong instinctive vision, because you came to Australia and you're very clear on what you wanted to achieve, and as a result, you've achieved a lot of your lifelong dreams to this point. So can you share a little bit about how you sort of saw, even though you had a black and white start in life, so to speak, how you were actually able to see the colourful world that became your oyster?
So basically what it is that I have been brought up in a way that we value what we have internally, not just externally. So things like, building your character, building your value, your resiliency. And so, in fact, I have managed to achieve every single of my dreams so far. So when I was 5, I was dreaming of having a beautiful dress, as any girl would. And with that, I studied fashion design and I opened my bridal boutique and won awards. So I'll tell you a little bit of that, and then I'll go back to how I did it. So that's dream number 1. And at the age of 7 is the first time that my sister, who by then came to Sydney, Australia, and a cousin been to America, sent a colorful photo home. And it was the first time I seen someone with blonde hair, and I thought, oh my goodness, what is this? Because my whole life, all I've seen is black hair. So then I started daydreaming every single day, literally, because I didn't even have a world map or globe model. Literally just daydreaming every day. What's America like? What's Australia like? And then at about age 10, in about grade 3, I met this really kind teacher. And it was the first time I felt safe in the classroom. I thought, whoa, that's how a teacher's supposed to be like, because I was constantly feeling scared in kindergarten because my teacher was really big and tall and with the cane, I was really petite. I'm still petite. I've never weighed more than 46 kilos besides during my pregnancy. So I was really scared. And so I thought this teacher made me feel really safe. And I thought that's how a teacher is supposed to be. So then I planted another seed that I want to be someone like that. I wouldn't mind to help others to learn. So after I have children, I studied primary teaching and I volunteer in their school, I teach at preschool and then eventually teach early childhood center and then preschool casually. And now I'm still teaching with my books and speaking and coaching. So 3 early childhood dreams. The second one was that I travel the world. So I've traveled the world. I've been to Alaska. This September will be 23 years. Time goes so fast.
Doesn't it?
So opened my bridal shop, traveled the world, did teaching. And so at the age of 15, I came to Sydney, Australia without a word of English. But what I saw was an art gallery. It was the first time I saw an art gallery. And I thought, oh my goodness, what is this? Because I didn't even have color pencils. So I was fascinated, how did artists do it and how did they have exhibitions? And so finally in 2015, after I'd done all other dreams, I finally did the Diploma of Visual Arts and participated in exhibitions. And in 2016, my self-portrait was finalist for Women's Art Prize on the theme of equality. And all the way along, I would always help people. When I was in the travel industry, I'll help them get industry. They get to travel the world. When I opened my bridal boutique, I'll help brides start a business in a matter of 5 minutes to break their blockage, so-called. And so I was always helping people. I was always telling the stories. And they would say, you should write a book. You should write a book. And so eventually, of course, I've written the book. But the funny thing is, all my adult life, I've been told your English writing is terrible. Your grammar is horrible. But it doesn't matter. My book has now helped many people around the world. And so that's all my dreams. And then as an extension of the book, I have started Three Hearts. This is the Three Hearts card.
Yeah, beautiful.
With the vision and mission to create a more connected society by eliminating isolation, loneliness, and the lead to depression. And I've been recently invited to participate in a university program to expand that. So that's all the dreams. So I've accomplished all of them so far. How did I do it? Go back to the question, how did I do it? Basically, with the title that I share today, Follow Your Heart and Follow Your Dreams. And I believe that it's not just one dream that you can achieve. You can achieve all of your dreams if you wish to. And the most important thing is follow your heart. Why? Because as we grow up, we get so many distractions, you know, we get, oh, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do that. And then we forget our own dreams. You know, someone else said I should do that. Someone else said I should be a doctor. Someone else said, you know, maybe being a lawyer is better, or whatever title it is. And so we tend to be aspire to the title, which is all wonderful. It is good. It is inspiring. But is it your dream? Is it yours? Is it really from you? And that's the key. That's the key. When it's not yours, it's harder to achieve because it's someone else.
Mm-hmm.
When it's someone else's dream, let them do it. You do yours. You do yours. And that's the key thing that I'm passionate about at you know, sharing with high school students, particularly in selective schools where they really high achieving students, but because of their ability, and any high achievers, right? Because of their ability, oh, I should be something else because either the status better or the money is better, whatever it is, it's the external factors, but it's not internally from you. Is it truly your dream? That's the key. The key is that, yes, we could all do amazing, wonderful things, but when it's not your own dream, it's not quite the same. Even if you achieved it. The reason why I'm so passionate about sharing this is because I meet so many amazing people. Seriously, PhD, scientists, you name it. And at the end of at the conversation, it's really high, it's really exciting. I've done this, I've achieved it, and this long bio. Then when we get deep into it, actually, I'm not entirely happy. I could be this. I wish I was that. I actually wanted to be a makeup artist. I didn't want to be a system, whatever, manager. I actually just wanted to be a makeup artist. But so-and-so, either parents, either friends, teacher, mentor, whoever it is, said that I should be this because either the title is better, the money is better, or whatever it is. And so after they achieve all of that, there's still a little hole in their heart that I'm not entirely happy. So that's why my quote, happiness is another form of wealth. It's your most treasured form of wealth. It's proven now than ever. It is your most treasured form of wealth when you're happy. And so it is so crucial that we follow our own dream, our heart. What does it say in your heart that really make you sing so cool? What is it that makes you feel like, you know, light up, you know, even though you could be whatever system manager, like these are the real cases, right? But high level of IT, but they're performing every day, but they're not entirely happy. But secretly, they're daydreaming away to say, I wish I was the makeup artist, you know, because that's what their passion is. And not until you can combine your passion, that true joy, that true inner joy, So in my book, I define happiness. There's external layers and there's internal layers. We all can achieve the external layers rather easier than the internal layers.
Mm.
But the external layers does not last. It's proven now more than ever.
Mm.
Your house, your car, your finances, everything. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire now. If anybody, excuse me for pointing the obvious, getting the disease now, you're not going to be happy, right? But it's the internal, finding your internal joy, the internal peace. Those are the internals of layers of happiness. So getting back to answer the question is following your heart. That was able to allow me to achieve all of the dreams.
So I'm just going to, I know you've, we talked about, and you popped through the 3 keys that you want to share today, which is catch, park, and flip. And I'm just going to get to them in a minute. See, I've got my pen out. I've been writing pencil. I'd love you to share, and I know this is more than likely in your book, but I have come across a lot of different people and have had lots of different conversations with other women and other business people, and probably had a similar conversation with myself many years ago, because I feel like I'm on the right path yet. But you do hear a lot of women, particularly when they get to that sort of 40 mark and things might have changed in their life for them, they'll say, but I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I'm passionate about. How does somebody restart that discovery process? Because clearly you've been very, very curious your entire life and deep dived into things, and that's where a lot of your inspiration and drive has come from. But if somebody's at the stage where they've lost that luster and they don't know how to kickstart it again, what would you suggest for them?
Get out to nature. I have very simple answers in my life, and that is because if you come from a place where you have no resources, you don't have a lot of external factors to draw from. We were very limited from resources, so we have to be very creative. And I somehow have managed to be able to make things very simple for myself, super simple. Anything's too complicated, it doesn't allow me to execute. So simplicity is what allows me execution. And because of that simplicity, that I'm able to execute, that's how I'm able to achieve one goal after another. And it just builds the momentum. So the answer is get out to nature. Seriously, it's so simple and it doesn't cost you anything. And if you're in a place now where around the world things happen, if you cannot get out physically, use technology. Use it to your advantage. Type on YouTube, meditation music, and it's got beautiful scenery. Seriously, it's so alive that it really can bring you there. Why nature? Nature has answers to everything. Nature, why? It's not the nature give you the answer. It's because it gives you the environment to connect with yourself. You first connect with the nature, and from there, the nature helps you to reconnect with yourself, and all the answers are within. And I have a businessman who took this advice from my book, grow his business from 0 staff to 38 staff in the shortest amount of time compared to all of his other businesses that he had previously. He was committed after he read the book, because he was in a stage where he wanted to further, enlarge himself, so-called, because he's already had business, he already had relationship, and now what? So he just wanted to expand to his full potential. So he read my book, and he decided to test the theory, and truly he needed it. He wanted it. In fact, he was one of my show hosts, and he was committed. So every day he go hiking, and he sit there with the nature. And I advise in my book that just connect with nature and do the meditation. And you don't have to seriously. Meditation isn't all about sitting there. It's not exactly that. It's more about being in the present moment. It's more about being with yourself and feeling yourself and recognize where you are. And so that's all he did. And he said in the shortest amount of time, he grew this meal company. And it's just so wonderful to hear. I hear so many heartwarming stories from my readers. It's just amazing.
Yeah, you've shared some beautiful ones with me, so I'll probably get you to share some of those depending on how we have how we go with time towards the end.
They've got so much to share. We'll probably have to do 2-3 shows.
Because, as I said, we've had such a great conversation, and some of the stories are so truly inspiring. But I really would love you to sort of talk about that catch, park, and flip, because I don't think we actually talked about this. But when we started talking about the show, you put those 3 words down, and I went, "What is that? I don't know that."
So the catch, park, and flip is to help you go through your day. But the 5 foundation with the IPPI is the one to achieve your dream. So I've got all these different acronyms and tips and tricks. So the catch, park, and flip is super, super useful. And I've shared it with Positive Psychology platform as well. I was at the World Congress Psychology Forum, and I was invited by one of the experts there. So this is how we go about days, yeah? Things happen, and then you get frustrated, go, oh, like, and then you have all these, starting to have the negative dialogue. I shouldn't have done that. That was silly, and so say that. And then you kind of like start the dialogue, and before you know it, it goes downward spiral. You know, it's kind of heavy and negative. So what you need to do is that anytime you feel like, oh, that was silly of me, why did I do that? Or like, this is not too bad, but there's heavier dialogue, right? You know, the one that the self-criticizing, that, you know, that was something of me to do that, and like you're kicking yourself about it. That's when you need to catch. So if you do it with me, it will anchor the thoughts. It's just catch the thought. The minute you have any negative thoughts at all, you know, give me one negative thought. Any.
I shouldn't have got up late. Now I'm running late. Now I'm running out of time. Is one of my.
And then that was really bad of me. And then I'm going to cause this, and this is all going to happen. Blah 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 blah. Right? Okay. Catch that thought. Catch it. Park it. Park it. So I explain, like in the book. I just imagine that you can park when you go to a shopping center, right, or anywhere. You know that there are all those squares they draw for your car, the rectangle spots you can park your car, so you know exactly where it is, right? So park it. So catch a thought and park it. Okay. Flip it. Yeah. So flip it to a positive one. Okay. So I got up late. It's okay.
Yeah.
I can now begin again, or I can now be conscious of my time. So the idea is that when we get into this emotional attachment, blah, 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 blah. Why did she say that? Why did he say that? You know, this is emotional attachment. When I tell you, don't worry, you're not going to be not worried, because it is worrying. When I tell you stop it, you can't stop it, because as humans, we have attachment. So the idea is that park it. When I say park it, I'm not telling you not to worry. When I'm not saying not to worry. So there is no sense that you can't detach. I'm just telling you park it, right? So it's easier. Okay, I can park it. You know that you can go back to it later. The car is there, the story is there, your emotions there. Whoever hurt you, whoever did you wrong, you can go back to visit later if you want to. But at this point in time, let's just flip it. Let's just flip your attention, flip your emotion, flip your energy, so that you can attend to this meeting, so that you can attend to your client, so that you can attend to this $1 million deal that's right in front of you, so that you can bring your full power self to be fully present, 1,000%, 3,000%, not just 100%. And it's because I'm able to be so present, like I said, 3,000%. That's why I'm able to achieve things in a quality value, the quality result, rather than just going about doing things, just do it for the sake of doing. You know, how many times you sit there in the meeting, but you're thinking about something else, or you're doing something, but then you're ruminating something else, and it's just, you don't have the full power. You don't have the full energy, the full concentration, and your full creativity. Only when you're present with positive energy that creativity comes. And it's only when we have creativity that things go magnificent.
So true.
When you think only from the logical brain, it's only so much. When you think with passion, with a positive energy, with a full power, with a creativity, that's when you go up here. And so that's why it's really simple but powerful, powerful. So anytime you go through a day and you have a negative thought, just catch it. Just be aware. That's my simplest way to explain the whole big theory about consciousness, awareness, and all of those, right? Mindfulness, aware consciousness, all of that in one go. Just one word, catch. Just catch it and park it. Park it, allow you to free up straight away. Free up all of those energy, attachment, negative resentment, whatever it is that is keeping you busy, that is distracting you from the present moment. Just park it. Once you park it, now you can flip. Now you can go back to your full empowered self. Yes.
That's beautiful. Can I ask, with that being such a simple process, something that's easy to grasp onto and attach to as an informational element, and I could really feel that as we were going through that process, the change in the body, which was fabulous. Is that something that you've taught in schools? And I'd love to hear if you did, and what the reaction from the kids were, if you've got a story on that.
I haven't actually teach that particular one in school, mainly because each class is different. I have used all different kinds of modality to teach. I even use hand embroidery to teach self-leadership without using the word self-leadership. And kids have write amazing letters to me. And hand embroidery nurtures their resiliency. You know, how do you put the needle, the thread through the needle when you like, and train their patience, train their everything else. So I haven't actually teach that particular one to school kids, but more to adults, because kids are not so attached to emotions yet, you see. It's adults who are more attached to the emotions. Yeah. Even though it's so simple, but I have not teach it to kids because I don't kids don't need it more as much as adults. Adults need it more. Yes.
So let's go back to the self-leadership scenario and just talk about some of those scenarios, whether it be the kids with the hand embroidery or some of the other great examples and stories that you have.
So there are so many stories, but one of the most recent ones in my Three Hearts community, because I've created this global community, is that we have some high achievers, right? Like, it's amazing. Like someone who's an artist, who's a teacher, after being in the meeting, she would say, all my life, I know what to do. I know what to achieve. Tell me what to do, I'll do it. Tell me what to achieve, I achieve it. But I never had the opportunity to learn about myself. Three Hearts has enabled me to be more than I thought I would be. That is self-leadership at 76 years old. At the age of 76 years, isn't it amazing that you can continue to expand to your full potential? Yeah. And I commend her so much for her lifelong spirit learning, the open-mindedness, to still be willing to absorb more and be open to accept more. And it's just amazing. We have so many wonderful stories. One of my Three Hearts ambassador, who's 69 years old, is now reinventing herself as a trauma coach. It was by chance that she was an international award-winning artist, but because she had to tend to her parents, her high-profile career got interrupted abruptly. And from there, she's gone into isolation and the rest of it, which anybody would if anybody was in her situation. But it was by chance that she picked up my book. She only paid 20 cents from a thrift store in the US. It was by chance that she picked up my book, and that's how she reconnected with herself and connected with me. And now she's been our Three Hearts ambassador for the last 12 months and reinventing herself as a trauma coach. That is self-leadership in a whole big way. At 69, it's so admirable. We have so many great example leaders in our community, and it's all connection. Connection is the currency to happiness. Yes.
And I'm hearing through the theme, yes, there's the connection to ourselves and what makes us joyful and happy. But you've had, there's been some other people that have actually started that connection process for you. And I love the story about, the very first kind teacher that gave you a demonstration of what kindness can bring out in yourself.
Absolutely. And the most significant figure is my mother and my father as well. But the book was actually inspired by my mother, my late mother. So that's how she lived her whole life, is showing compassion and kindness. Whether she has it or not, she would still go and help other people with what they need. And it was her demonstration that I wanted to pass on to my children. That's what inspired me to write it to begin with. So initially, I wrote the first chapter for my children. But because of 3 cases of death from these people that I don't even know, that saddened me so. It was just really, really saddened me. It was 3 consecutive days I could not hold my tears that I decided to share with the world. So yes, that teacher, but also my mother, my late mother. When I say late mother, it feels awkward because to me, she's still around. She's still with me so much, but I just said that so that everyone knows she's no longer with us. But that's just how not only kindness and compassion, but somehow she managed to show us how to live with the abundance. We had nothing. We really had nothing. On top of that, she lost her own mother at the age of 8.
Oh, wow.
And I say this all the time, if I could be with her again, I would ask her, Mom, how did you do it? Because I never asked her when she was here. How did you do it? She didn't even have her own mother growing up. But she has managed to be able to grow up so resourcefully, so kind and compassionate, and with such abundance mindset. Like she would always be helping someone besides herself, like whether we have it or not. And that's how I grew up with. Because if I haven't grown up with the abundance mindset, there's no way I could achieve any of the dreams, because I would feel like all sorts of lack. Oh, we don't have resource. Oh, we don't have money. I didn't even have color pencil. It would be all these self-pity dialogue, right? Yep. It would be, who am I to achieve anything? I didn't have this. I didn't have that. I didn't have that. I came to see in Australia. I don't even know a word of English. Who am I to write the book, right? It would be all sorts of lack that would hold me back. But it's incredible that she's able to lead us to live with the abundance heart, not just the mindset, it's in our heart and our soul, that I have been able to go, I like that. I'm going to do that. And I dream of that. I'm just going to go and achieve it, right? There was no like, oh, what if this? What if that? No, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. Who am I to do this? Who am I to do that? So yeah, and that's how I was able to achieve all of the dreams. And that's why it's so crucial to listen to your heart. Listen to your heart and follow your own dreams and not anybody else. Because when it's somebody else's dream, they don't want to do it. It's not the same when you do it, because it's not from your heart. It's not from the deep core of your heart, that purpose, that passion, that pureness, which is the 5, the IPPPI.
When you're talking about that with the 5 P's or
5 foundations to achieving the dreams. Yes.
I actually feel it. The word that comes to mind for me when you were describing that was effervesce. It actually effervesces from your heart, like when you shake a bottle of soda water and you take the lid off and it just sort of rushes out of you. That's that joyous release and the celebration of the the bubble, the excitement and everything from there as well.
Because if it's not from you, you don't have that.
No,
and it won't amplify.
No, it doesn't.
And that's a beautiful example of showing how you can amplify yourself that way. Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I just wanted to catch on because as we've got the ticker going across, you've got the the listeners have got the opportunity to get the first chapter of your book with your link that's going across the ticker that we'll have on social media posts, etc. And that's the first chapter where you're sort of sharing the story for your children. So if you want something to touch your hearts, that's going to be a beautiful read for the listeners. So do grab that first chapter and have a read through that. And then, of course, obviously jump into grabbing the book as well. So can you tell us a little bit about the Three Hearts Foundations and how people can potentially be involved in that, and where you want to take that as a vision, because I know you've got a very big vision.
So when you say very big, I kind of like it touched my heart for a second.
Okay.
But everything starts from the heart, and so therefore to me it wasn't big. To me, so the Three Hearts stands for heart number 1 is love and connection for yourself.
Yep.
Heart number 2 is love and connection for each other. Heart number 3 is love and connection for the universe.
Yeah.
Universe, it's all living things, animal, plants, climate change, everything around us. Look after our environment. But one of the chapters in my book, the last, there's 5 foundations in my book as well. To happiness, to connection and happiness, 5F. The last one was dedicated to all the charity workers around the world for the amazing work they do.
Goosebumps.
Yes. So the vision and mission of Three Hearts is to create a more connected society by eliminating isolation, loneliness, and the lead to depression. People are becoming busier and busier. We are reclusing to ourselves more and more. It doesn't even matter if you're extrovert, introvert, we all are going through the same thing. And this is way before the pandemic. It's already that pattern of life in the modern life. And I miss the old way of life. So in Vietnam, things were really tough, but it was connection is what got us through. We got each other's back. We got each other's company. You know, we go through things together. The neighborhoods, people would always talk to each other. You know, the mother had the baby in the back, you know, the olden ways. Yeah, and they'll do things and they'll chat with each other. They'll share with each other the highs and lows, everything. Even men talk to each other a lot, either with the cigarette or their Vietnamese coffee or beer, not a lot of beer back then, and tea, you know, a lot of coffee and tea. They would talk to each other all the time. So really, it was connection was what get us through the tough time. It doesn't matter how little we have. We share with each other in the neighborhood. If we get a win, we come back and we brag about it. No one say you're bragging. You know, you come back and say, I did this and I did that, and everyone cheers for you. Whereas these days, it's really hard to get someone to cheer for you, right? So I miss those old times, and I just thought, wouldn't the world be such a more beautiful place if we all could just do that, not worrying about who says what, not worrying about who criticize, judge what, but should be just to be able to be who we are. So the members come to our Three Hearts meeting. We get to be who we are. We celebrate you. It doesn't even matter. If you just say, my plan, I can see your plan. It doesn't even matter if you say, my plan flowers today, and we'll celebrate it with you, right? It doesn't matter how big or how small your win is. Or doesn't matter how small your challenge is. I got a zit on my face and whoosh, woo, listen. It's basically a place for you to be who you are. Simple. You don't have to be whoever. It's not for networking, but magically, things happen behind the scene. Why? Because I get to hear about your courses. I get to hear what you're passionate about. I get to hear you're passionate about climate change, about, child abuse, whatever it is we share. And things happen behind the scene. I've got show hosts, invited guests on their show. I've got business happen, someone taking the business international between Sydney and London. It happens because we all want to do business with people who we like, trust, and value. It's a byproduct. It's a byproduct of a truly connected community. And that's what happened. So at the moment, it's a Facebook group. It's called Three Hearts Connections Global. It is a private group because we don't just want anybody. We truly want authentic people with soul center, heart center souls, I call, like, and so everyone is welcome. No gender bias, like, doesn't matter what gender you are, doesn't matter what ethnicity, what religion, everyone's welcome. But only one thing, everyone is in there with good, authentic hearts.
Yeah, good intention.
And each time we come to the meeting, magic happens. We share tears, we share laughter, we share joy, and we have so many healings happen without counseling, without coaching, without fixing, from the pureness of connection. So many heartwarming stories, so many. So the vision, to answer your question, how do you term a connected society? The society can be as big as you think in your own environment, could be as big as the whole globe. So at this point in time, the vision is we want to connect 1 million hearts. Why? Because when you are connected, Sally, and happy, when you go home, you'll be more connected with your children, your husband. When you go to work, you're more connected with your clients, with your colleagues, with whoever else you come across, even with strangers on the street. You will smile more. So by the time we connect 1 million hearts, I so sure know it will be 10 millions easily. I once was challenged by an expert in the health arena. Linda, there's 7 billion, at the time was 7 billion. There were 7 billion people in the world. You're only aiming for 1 million. And my reply was like, okay, just let me aim for this little goal first. But inside my heart, I truly know that when we achieve 1 million, it's not just going to be 1 million. It will be tens millions easily. Depends on your presence, depends on your influence, Sally, right? Say, for example, if your community, if once you become connected and your community is so large, you could impact a lot more. And I don't underestimate a little child. I tell every single child, you are a leader. When you go to school, when you go to the canteen line and say, I like that, guess what happened? Your friends can say, yeah, I like that too. When you're with your friends, you say, I don't like her this, I don't like him this. Guess what? Other friends will follow too. It has an impact. So that's why I say self-leadership is so crucial. Every single person is a leader in your own right, at your own time, in your own space. Don't ever underestimate it. Truly, don't underestimate the power in you. You are a leader. Wherever you go, whatever you do, it has effect and consequences. It has power to influence and change. You don't really need to be on the big stage with the megaphone. You don't need to be the president or the prime minister or some kind of influencer or Instagram. You have the power to influence and change anything, given any situation, anywhere, any moment, regardless of how old you are, whatever age you are, whether you're 86, 6 years old, you have the same power, is my message for self-leadership.
And I'm really feeling that there too. It's that understanding and that reconnection with yourself and your own heart to self-discover your self-leadership, but to self-discover and open that lid and let the effervescence come out again. That's
Absolutely.
the invitation for you, isn't it? Is for all those people that are feeling stuck, that are feeling isolated, to let them know that there is others that have been there, that have got their back, that are happy to continue to support them, to undo that cap and let their own effervescence rush out and make the world a better place, because collectively that's where the global change and the impacts come from, and the amplification of those impacts. Wow, love talking. I love the scenario there where you talked about your community, and I wrote down the word, be a cheerleader for others.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So we're all there to lift each other up. We're all there to lift each other up. So, when we say a connected society, we have people from all continents that attended the meeting. The only place that we haven't got one person is Antarctica. So we've been joking that if you just bring a penguin, we'll have everyone from all continents. So we really have people from all.
Yeah.
Pardon, Sally, I didn't hear that.
All right, I'm going to say that's a community challenge. So anybody that knows anybody in Alaska, or any way that we can get an Alaskan person or element into the community, that's a challenge we're putting out to everybody.
Oh no, we have Alaskan in our community, but it's Antarctica that we haven't.
Beg your pardon. Yeah.
we have members from Alaska, and I've been to Alaska 23 years ago. I just still can't believe that. So just getting back to someone who's lost, you're more than welcome to get in touch with me. I'm a coach, I'm a life coach, and I'll be more than happy to have a conversation and see how I can help you further. But the first step is get out to nature or connect with nature. From there, you see things. Of course, it might take more than once, right? So nothing happens just once or 1 minute. So be patient. The key is patience to reconnect with yourself. And from there, you rediscover your new self or your old self. To discover your new self, you need to rediscover your old self, the current self, and then leading to your new self.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much. That was, beautifully well said. It's all, so just from a recapping from my perspective, thank you very, very much. But for me, my takeaways personally is it's all about that, your ability to be curious, your ability to be a cheer squad for others, but through your own curiosity in nature first off, and what's going on around you in nature is to self-realize yourself again. Find out where you actually are in your journey and where you're wanting to be going, and really refill your heart up, and then let that heart effervesce over to others. So thank you very, very much, Linda. So insightful. I've got lots of little highlighted notes and circles around lots of little things that we've discussed today. So thank you very, very much.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. I do invite their community to certainly connect with you, connect with your community, and let's together see what the communities and the individuals can do for others and can do collectively when we all connect. Wow, thank you very much.
Because at the moment, everyone really needs a connection, especially since COVID hit. Last year, we have helped so many people around the globe. So if anybody's interested, please email me. You can email Linda, Linda, at lindaduong, lindaduong.com.au. So Linda at lindaduong.com.au. Thank you so much for having me on.
You're most welcome. So thank you very much. Just as a quick exit as we head off to end the show, next week we have Jessica Giles, who is a certified money mastery coach with one of the most incredible warm hearts and presence you can ever imagine. So Linda, you and her will get along exceptionally well. One of her catchphrases is, "It's all about the money," and simultaneously it's all not about the money, but it is very much about the relationship that you have with money. So there comes in that connection, etc. there as well. So a beautiful follow-on from our conversation today around connection. So I hope that everyone can join us next week to experience the beautiful Jessica Giles. And if I can just ask everybody to collectively and energetically thank Linda again for joining us and sharing so much wisdom with us today. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you. Talk soon. Bye.
Bye.
That's it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. I trust you got some inspirational tips to move you forward. See you next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern for more Success Secrets Exposed.